What's up guys, Anthony Vapes. Today with my review of the Rofvape Warlock Z-Box. Does it look like a Z or is this side the Z? I think that's the Z side. I don't know. One of them makes it look like a Z. Nonetheless, 233 watt mod from Rofvape. It has like a little like leatherish door on it. It's a really nice looking mod actually. It really is a nice looking mod. Even matches my shirt for today. Yeah, so this mod, it's a pretty new mod. I mean, I got it literally pretty much the day it came out. I did pre-order it and it shipped out pretty quickly, thankfully. It didn't get delayed. From my understanding, this was actually co-designed with Rofvape from some YouTube reviewer. I don't know who it is. I guess it's somebody who's pretty big in Spain. If I'm right, if I'm wrong, I'm sure somebody will tell me in the comments that I'm wrong. So yeah, but I'm pretty sure this was co-designed by a YouTube reviewer, which is pretty cool. It's nice to see, you know, YouTube reviewers get to design mods and stuff. Sometimes they do a good job, sometimes they don't, you know. But it is nice to see it coming from people who actually vape. Anyway, I don't want to waste too much time. Let's go ahead and shoot into the up close. No disclaimers. I did purchase this myself from GearBest. It was 40 bucks. So I'll throw that in the link below where I got it from. But of course, you can always use Vape Crawler and try to find it as cheap as you can. So let's shoot into the up close. Give you guys an up close look and how it works. Then I'll go through my tech testing. Then I'll be back here with my pros, cons, and whether I recommend it or not. Alright, let's take an up close look at the Warlock Z-Box from Rofvape. Take a quick look at the box first here. It's going to come in a box like this. It says Warlock Z-Box 233, 233 watt mod. Inside the box, we get your basic stuff. You got some suggestions to use Samsung, LG, Sony. So I do like that. And it says don't charge it in the mod. So that's actually a pretty good card. I like that one. Warranty card, user manual. Pretty basic user manual because it's a pretty basic box. Even the user manual tells you to charge it externally. And then you're going to have a USB cable here inside this box. Now let's look at this itself. It does have a nice little feeling battery door to it. Not battery door, sorry, but the actual mod. And it's supposed to have like a Z in it, hence the reason it's called Z-Box. But it's more like a Z on this side. This side, it's an opposite of a Z. Take some quick measurements here because it is a pretty thin mod. Well, not that thin, 26. It looks a lot thinner than it is. By 56. By about 80. Here's the battery door. You have to push this out and slide it open. And the one thing I don't like about this box is closing it because it is a pain in the butt. I'm going to throw some batteries in and show you that. So you have to hold this down, and while you're holding it down, you have to slide this up until you hear a click in order to get it in. It is not easy to get it in. I mean, you can't just push it down and try to slide it like it won't slide. It has to be pushed down pretty hard, and then you have to get a grip on the little knob here. To get it in. So it's a pain in the butt to get the batteries in. Not a very good design battery door. Screen has your basic info. So that'd be your resistance, voltage, watts, battery. It's just a 3-click to cycle through, so nickel, titanium, stainless. That's for your programmable, it says CE. So that's like the TCR pretty much. And then you're back to that. So there's really not much to the mod. See, that does nothing. That does nothing. Flips the screen. No preheat or anything. These two will lock it. So it says please unlock. You hold them again. It's unlocked. So Basic mod, and then 5 flicks on, 5 flicks off. And it does get very fingerprinty, as you can see. I got fingerprints everywhere on it. Anyway, that's about it for the up close. Let's go ahead and shoot into the tech testing, and then I'll be back with my final thoughts, pros, cons, and all that other good stuff. Alright, so let's take a look at these testing results of this Warlock Z-Box. I'm not going to show you a chart first. I actually didn't make a chart for that. I'm going to explain that as I go through what I went through in my testing. The batteries used were the LG HV6. So a lot of this doesn't look filled out, and there's not a lot of information. I'm going to explain why. This is the same testing that I run all my mods through. It's a little bit more than I did on some of the earlier mods, but nonetheless, I've never had issues like this before. But basically, this was extremely inconsistent, firing all the way down to 150. I couldn't even get an actual value of it because it was so off the charts in every direction. I couldn't even apply a number to it. On top of that, the mod started shutting down. It got really hot, and it went into a temp protection on the chip. Basically, the chip was overheating in itself. So the mod gets super hot, and then it doesn't fire. So I gave it a 10-minute break, came back and started to test it again. So after a 10-minute break and it cooled off, I got some numbers here, went into my next round of testing, got some more numbers, and then bam, did it again. The mod completely overheated and refused to fire again. So at that point, by the time I got here, I was just done with it. I was done with it not firing, with it being inconsistent. Basically, when testing this mod, the chip just kept overheating, the output was everywhere, and it would get to the point where it wouldn't fire, and I would have to let it sit for 10, 15 minutes, whatever, before I could actually use it again. To me, that is ridiculous. If you're going to advertise a mod that does 233 watts and all this other stuff, it shouldn't be shutting down and overheating that easily, because no other mod that I've tested has overheated and shut itself down in my testing. So that alone was enough for me to just flat out fail the mod and stop the testing. I didn't do any more resistances. I didn't test it in temp control. I didn't feel the need to do any of it because the mod should not be doing that. It's like you can't sell a car that's supposed to go 200 miles an hour, and then the guy reviewing the car goes to take it 200 miles an hour, and the engine blows and the wheels fall apart. So for my point, it failed, and there's really not much more to say about it other than it failed my testing. So that's pretty much all I have to say on that. Let's go ahead into the outro. I'll talk a little bit more about it, and we'll go from there. Alright, so I'm back here now with my outro, final thoughts and stuff. I'm not even going to do a pros and cons, and I'm going to be honest, it was hard for me to even get through the intro since all this was recorded afterwards. Literally like halfway through my test, when I got to that point where the mod just fails and I was done and over with, I pretty much lost all interest in going any deeper into this mod. I mean, I know I put the mods through hell when I test them, but that is the point of the testing, and I've never had a mod fail as hard as this one failed. Never. Not even the Predator, not even the Primo, not even the RX300, which was like burning hot in my hands, testing it at 300 watts. I mean, it was hot. Still didn't shut down. But this little sucker could not handle anything. It could not even get halfway through my test, not even a quarter way. My testing, just so you guys know, it takes me about 1 hour per mod to go through my entire testing procedure. 1 hour. Plus I also have an hour of setup and breakdown prior to testing. So if I test one mod, it takes me 2 hours. If I test two, it takes me 3. If I test 3, it takes me 4, blah, 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 blah. So this sucker didn't even make it like 15-20 minutes into my testing before it failed. Every other mod that I have reviewed has at least made it through my testing. Even if it didn't do very well, it still made it through the whole testing without shutting down and overheating. So once I got to that point where I did it, I couldn't do it anymore. Like, I wanted to like this mod, but I don't want to do a pros or cons or anything. Even going through the intro, it was rough not to just tell you to just ignore this mod. You know, it just, I don't know what to say. Like, I'm literally at a loss of words because I'm so thrown from how poorly this mod did. It's absolutely ridiculous for a mod to be shutting down and getting that hot. It's just, it is. If your mod can't take the heat of trying to push 233 watts like it says, don't advertise it as such. Throttle it down to 150 watts. I mean, it's not going to hurt you. I mean, DNA chips in dual battery mode, they only do 166 watts. The DNA 200 chip before that, only 133 watts. It did not hurt its sales because it was still a fantastic chip. There's plenty of people who are okay with that. The Tesla Nano I did, 120 watts, great mod. Aspire Archon, 150 watts, great mod. The Fuchai, 175 watts. Great mod. You don't need to push 220, 230, 240 watts out of a mod in order to get people to buy it. Just make a good mod and just accurately put what it can do without it overheating and shutting down or anything like that, or firing completely inconsistent. It's a piece of junk. And it's a shame because it's a really nice looking mod. Like the design of it, really nice looking. Outside the battery door, which I hate this freaking battery door, but outside this battery door, if you were to throw a different chip in this, you know, throw in a DNA chip, a SMOAN chip, one of the good performing chips, it would be a killer mod. But it's just ridiculous the way it overheats. And I'm pretty sure the 510 pin's junk too, but I didn't take it apart because, again, it failed so hard I didn't want to go any deeper into it. It's a waste of time. You know, that's the reason I do this testing. That's the reason I'm thorough, and I know not every reviewer does it. They'll pick it up, they'll vape on it a couple days at 50, 60 watts, or even people that go out and buy it, they want to give me a hard time about my reviews because it's like, oh, I have no issue with the mod. I'm vaping at 40 watts all day. That's fine, but I'm a reviewer. I need to review the mod for what it says it can do. I can't sit there and throttle it down to 40 watts for the few vapors that vape at 40 watts. Which, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that, but I have to do it for people who are going to try everything on the mod. Let them know how it all goes. You know, you can buy a Ferrari and drive it to work at 50 miles an hour if you want. You know, it's your money, do it. But if I'm gonna, you know, review a Ferrari, I'm not gonna drive at 50 miles an hour. I'm gonna drive at 250 or whatever the top speed it says to make sure it works. Because if it falls apart at 200 miles an hour, guess what? I'm gonna say, don't buy this car. Yeah, you can probably take it to, you know, take it to work and drive at 50 miles an hour, no problem, but you sure can't take it to 200 like it says it does. And that's the way that I look at it. And you know what, if you guys disagree, if you think I'm doing something that I shouldn't be doing, then let me know. Tell me in the comments, whatever. Just say, you know, that I shouldn't be doing that. But for me, I don't want to support mods that just shut down in the middle of my testing. It's just BS, it's junk. So don't buy it, avoid it, just forget this thing even exists. So I'm glad that I got it so that I can at least get this video out. I wasted my money. You don't need to waste your money on this piece of junk. Yeah. So anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching. Sorry about that rant, but this mod really got on my nerves. So sorry about that rant, but you know, like and subscribe if you like what you saw. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Feel free to comment below. If you guys think I'm doing something wrong or being, you know, unfair or anything, let me know in the comments. Please feel free. Let me know in the comments. This is Anthony Vapes as always, keeping it honest. Hopefully you guys can say you're doing the same thing, and I'll catch you on the next review.